Welcome to Digital Journal TV. My name is Chris Hogg. The Beijing Olympics start August 8th, and the world's focus is increasingly turning to China, environmental concerns. With oil becoming a problem, the developing country is really looking at this natural resource as a problem. So just how big are environmental concerns in the country? Well, let's take a look. As Chinese economic growth soars, its people are choking on their own success. More than 3 million cars clog Beijing streets, and China is the world's second largest consumer of petroleum, behind the US. This means the Olympics could be showcasing more than athleticism. We'd be seeing one of the most severely polluted countries in the spotlight. Only 1% of the country's city residents breathe air considered safe by the European Union. Acid rain damages buildings and crops in about 30% of China. Bad air quality is a result of coal-powered plants, and China is a heavy consumer. It burns more coal than the US, Europe, and Japan combined. This paints an ugly picture for Olympians. Already one marathon runner is boycotting the 2008 Olympics because of pollution concerns.
When you're running in a polluted environment like this, it feels like you're sucking in muck. And for me as an amateur athlete, it's one thing, but for a professional athlete, when you win the Olympic marathon, it might be by 1 or 2 seconds over 26.2 miles. And so if you have a different, if pollution impacts you differently than somebody else, that can have a determinative impact on your performance. And so there are a lot of athletes who are certainly very excited about the Olympics, but nobody wants to go and to feel that they weren't able to compete at their best as a result of poor air quality.
International Olympic Committee President Jacques Rogge assured athletes nothing will harm the athletes' health, and the IOC will make sure China complies with reducing pollution.
The Chinese have done a lot to try to improve the environmental conditions in Beijing in advance of the Olympics, but Beijing exists within China, and China is now facing a monumental environmental crisis, and there's nothing that's going to be able to be done in the short term that's going to address this, be able to sufficiently address this issue.
But there's a silver lining in the toxic clouds. China's environmental ministry said emissions of major pollutants have declined since last year. Also, factories around Lake Tai, China's third largest body of fresh water, will face penalties 5 times greater than what they previously were for polluting. Also, Chinese investment in clean technology is rising from $550 million last year to $720 million this year. China still is a major contributor to global warming, experts say, but the upcoming Olympics gives the country a chance to clean up its act. The real test comes after August, when China returns to its normal way of life. So, with environmental pressures increasingly on China, the Beijing Olympics are putting the country in the spotlight. And let's hope that this year's Olympics actually puts some pressure on the government. That's it. That's your look at the environmental impact from China. For Digital Journal TV, my name is Chris Hogg. For more news on China and environmental concerns, you can check out digitaljournal.com. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.